Tell me a story about the prophets past and how their teachings last today.
Al-Quran Al-Kareem Radio of Australia presents Islamic Stories for Kids.
Tell me a tale of how the good will prevail and how the lessons paved our way.
Prepared and presented by Jabir Al-Tayyibi and Adam Rayhani.
Tell me a story.
Abu Dhar Al Giffariy. Abu Dhar Al Giffariy was one of Prophet Muhammad's companions. He was one of the first people to convert to Islam. He was famous for his truthfulness and for speaking out against injustice. When Abu Dhar embraced Islam, the Prophet ﷺ was still secretly calling people to Islam. However, Abu Dhar wanted to declare Islam publicly and loudly. Immediately after joining Islam, he turned to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him, "Messenger of Allah, what do you want me to do?" The Prophet replied, "Go back to your people until my order reaches you." Abu Dhar said, "I am not going back until I loudly declare Islam within the Kaaba." So he entered the Kaaba and cried out as loud as he could, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah." I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. As far as we know, it was the first public pronouncement declaring Islam and challenging the non-believers of Quraysh. It was cried out by a stranger who did not have any relatives or protection in Mecca. The non-believers beat him up till he fell down on the ground. However, he did not mind. He acted out of his courage and love for Islam. Abu Dhar went back to his tribe Banu Ghifar, and when the Prophet had moved to Medina, he went to join him. But he did not go alone. He went with his whole tribe. They had converted to Islam too, thanks to him. The Prophet was impressed with Abu Dhar's faith and truthfulness. He once said about him, "The earth never carried above it, nor did the sky ever shade under it a more truthful tongue than Abu Dhar's." The Prophet also knew that Abu Dhar's honesty would make him enemies and would leave him lonely. He once said to him, "You'll walk alone, die alone, and resurrect alone." Abu Dhar spent his life against the abuse of powerful and rich people. He lived speaking out against everything that was wrong and supporting everything that was right. He lived as a responsible Muslim, giving good advice to others and warning them against the evil. He ended up living only with his wife, away from other people in the middle of the desert. When he was dying, his wife was crying beside him. He asked her, "Why are you crying?" She answered, "You are dying and there is nobody around to help with your funeral." He smiled and said, "Calm down. I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, 'One of you will die in a desert, and a group of Muslims will witness him. All those who were sitting with me at the time have died, some in a town, others in a village. No one is left except me, and now I am dying in a desert. Watch out, a group of Muslims will soon show up. By Allah, I have never lied.'" Indeed, a caravan was coming towards them. It was a group of Muslims with Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the Prophet's companion, at their head. They took care of Abu Dhar's funeral. Ibn Mas'ud's tears rolled down while he was standing in front of Abu Dhar's body. He said, "The Messenger of Allah was truthful. You will walk alone, die alone, and resurrect alone."
Tell me a story about the prophets past and how their teachings last today.
Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, We have just listened together to an episode of Islamic Stories for Kids.
Tell me a tale of how the good will prevail and how the lessons paved our way.
Presented by Jabir Al-Tayyibi and Adam Raihani. This is Al-Quran Al-Kareem Radio of Australia.
Tell me a story.